This thing is good. We are waiting on people to come on to the live. We are farmers. Bum, ba-da, ba, 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 bum. What's up? What's up, Cool Runner? How you doing, brother? Can you hear me just fine? Just waiting on a few more people to join live before we can talk about more about this. But again, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Um, yes, I am hoping that more and more people can see this. This is actually the first live that is actually finally working because I've tried it before and it wasn't working, and it took a little bit to get this going. To finally show the face while. Da, 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 da. Did you listen to the call? Because that call was something else. Mm, this thing is really good. Come on, everyone. Where is everybody at? Mm. What did you start? Mm. Hey guys, just waiting on a few more people to show up. Please like the video so we can pass it on to more and more people. That way we can get this whole video started and we can talk about what happened with that after hours call report. We are AMC holders. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 bum. I'm wondering what Cool Runner, when did you start? You said I started too. Mm. Need to play some music while waiting on people to come in the background. We'll listen to some John Collins. or Phil Collins, sorry, John Collins. So we are waiting on people to join the live chat. Oh, yeah, KJW. Um, yeah, me too. I hope this summer. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna get started soon. I just, like I said, we just need more people to be on the live chat, so I'm not like we're not repeating the highlights. This one is gonna be a quick one, so please, guys, like the video, share it with some people, or I don't know, share it in groups or something, like I'm doing. That way, we can get more and more people coming to watch. Mm, 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 mm. KJW, you didn't you say that you had Mullen? Weren't you in it yesterday, or was that Alan? I think that was Alan. You know what's the craziest thing? Okay, yeah, that was Alan uh, Kaminsky, I think. Um, yeah, we called out that play, and it worked out. And I'm looking at VROOM Vroom to do something um, in the near term future to come back after that huge drop that it had. I mean, just a few months ago, that stock was literally in the 40s. Um, I understand the market is going through some correction right now, so I think that they're just pumping and dumping things so that they can make enough money to take care of one thing, and that one thing is our squeeze. That's what this whole thing is about. That's my opinion, guys. But we need that failure to deliver stuff to be addressed because people are all like concentrated on the transparency rules and all that stuff, but literally all the crime, majority of the crime, as I put in that video earlier today, is in the FTDs. You know, we should be at such a really crazy high price if all the FTDs were delivered, toward the stock. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's as simple as you have the stock is evaluated based on how the company's overall value. So like if you and I and everyone else are buying into the whatever stock it is, whatever company it is, we'll use AMC in this case, and we're buying the stock that should be added to the or should go to the exchange so that it can add to the value of the company, and therefore it also adds up or pushes up the price of the stock. But since they're not delivering it, and it's obviously going all through the dark pool, and somehow, well, it's not somehow, but we know that, but that's what they're doing. But somehow they utilize those as somehow like they transferred into sale orders on the actual stock exchange, and that's what gets the selling pressure. It's so crazy, but that's what really needs to be addressed the most is the FTDs, because you guys saw in the community post I had today, I posted some numbers from the FTDs that are not delivered. It's mind-boggling. In just 1 month, you're talking about the second half of January and the first half of February. Almost all those stocks in that list were delivered, not delivered, like in the millions. You know, yeah, Dene, Finally got it to work. I had to go through a lot of hoops to get it going. But yeah, I'm just waiting on more people, to show up to the live so that we can talk about the overall of what happened in that reports call. So yeah, like the video. I'm pretty sure everyone already in here already liked it. That pushes it out to more and more people. You know what's crazy, Dina, is that I don't know what happened with the electricity at my restaurant. So, so for you people, I'm out here enjoying it, I guess. Nah, I'm just kidding. I did call up one of my mechanic guys or maintenance guys that could just go in and check it out. He was not happy. Guys after like 4 o'clock, especially like people who work on handyman, they do not like to work after like 4 o'clock. As soon as it hits three, anyways, 3 or 4, these guys want to go enjoy happy hour, and they do not want to work. Unless you want to get one of those guys that's on that crazy stuff, that you pay for his gas. It's so crazy. I once had this guy who legitly had crazy, crazy, crazy like experience, and he had a license for HVAC and all that stuff. But the sad part about it was the guy was on like heavy hardcore drugs, and the guy was so crazy. He was driving this pickup truck that couldn't go into park, so he had to drive with his old lady in there, and she had to keep her feet on the brake at all times. Believe it or not, I don't know what the hell was that about, but yeah, like what the whole time he was working in there, she was in there in that truck just with her feet on the brake. Crazy, right? So, okay, you know what? I'm gonna begin to talk about it. I don't care much for who's who's in and who's when. I guess that's just the algorithms of YouTube. Um, so looking at what happened, and we were listening to the call, especially you and I, Danae, most of the time. Looking at the whole situation now, we came up with similar to all the other calls before. Great sales, great revenue. Um, like Adam Aaron hyping up the ideas that, oh, we're gonna go more into NFTs and we're gonna go into this and all into that. But here's the thing. I like you and I, especially Danae, that we looked like at the end, and he was talking about something like we have those shares. Like he keeps reminding you, you know he did this many times before. He reminded us that he has shares like back in June or July that he did not sell. uh oh, welcome, Lavar. Welcome, 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 brother. Please like the video. Let's get it out to more people so that more people can see what we're talking about as far as what happened. But yeah, welcome to the channel. So yeah, so like he keeps reminding us of things, because I remember back in July, the man said something about him not selling, but he needs to sell because somebody, his accountant told him that you're getting up there in age and you need to start diversifying your investments. And little that we knew, obviously, that toward the end of the year, he started dumping his personal shares, while the rest of the people that were on the board were already selling. Now, this is what I don't know. The only thing I didn't like about that call was the fact that he was saying, and much respect to you too, brother. Um, the only thing I didn't like about that call was at the end when he was reminding us of those certain amount of shares that they had, but he was kind of like making it seem like he was doing us a favor by not dumping them throughout all of 2021. But he said that it is already March and we didn't drop them. That's see, here's the thing. So like he's prepping us. I feel like he's prepping us for another like crazy share dilution down the line, maybe April or May or June, whatever. Because why would you mention something like that if there was no plan to dilute? But I mean, in my personal humble opinion, I think that you got already $1.8 billion. It's time for us as investors in the company to start seeing AMC make it out on its own without having to keep dumping or diluting stocks and shares on the market, and basically, seeing the board selling shares at those prices because they had all their shares down in the $4 and the $5 range, or they were given, in some cases, they were given to them as bonuses from the company. So this is, now it's time for us to see, since we own the float, and he reiterated that in the call. He said, it's still over 80 to 100% of the float is owned by, well, he couldn't say 100%, but most of the float is owned by the investors, the retail investors. He said it's already over 5 to 6 million investors. So we know 100% now that, again, that we still own the float and people are not selling. In fact, you've seen those um, posts that I make today on the community page saying that, looking at the numbers of the failure to deliver on all the companies that, in that post, there's like BBIG, BlackBerry, AMC, GameStop, and a couple more, and DWAC. And it's going to be more and more, more and more companies that are failure to deliver. And they were in the millions. And that's just from the second half of January to the first half of February. So by seeing that, we need to press the sec to go ahead, uh, look, somebody saying like Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Somebody get LeBron in the live chat. But yeah, we need to get the sec under pressure for that, because what about that stuff? That's the only reason why we're not in the hundreds or whatever number it is, like where the stock should be, without a squeeze. Because if you look at it, look at how much, if you calculate how much failure to delivers we have, you'll be surprised that the actual stock value, because of how much we bought into it, should be in the high hundreds, like literally. And I'm not making like some sort of crazy theory. No, like we should be, if you let all those failure delivers go on the market and go straight toward the company's value evaluation, we should be in the upper hundreds, because you got billions, billions of stocks or failure to delivers, and that's huge. Great, we getting transparency rules, we're getting all that stuff, that's amazing, but that's literally a drop in the bucket compared to the real damage, which is in the failure to delivers. How is there, like, what is gonna transparency gonna do for us if the failure delivers continue to happen, which is through the dark pools, you know so that needs to be addressed through the SEC. And if that doesn't get addressed, then the market is crap. It's just basically full of crap. Um, so the good thing about what Adam Aaron said was that the 1.8 billion that the company is sitting on free cash, it should be enough, and that's something like, from an investor's standpoint, I think that they don't need more than that to go ahead and start making big progress. Like, I need to see them doing that. Stop the whole talk about share dilution and dropping more shares to get more. We already have millions of shares that are out there that can't even be, like, we still bought so much that you can't even deliver. Like, they're not even delivering. Um, Ron said, could the hedgies cover partial and kick the rest of the can down the road? Well, here's the thing, Ron. That's like literally like the $1 trillion question, not just a billion or a million. Um, the answer to that is no one really knows, because it comes down to the regulations. Because here's how you can answer that question really well. They're planning on making like the IEX system being the new investment system. So like the new market maker. Now, yeah, I did say it before here that we have Citadel is part owner in that new system, aka the robot Godzilla that they're calling. Citadel is one of the three entities that is responsible for that system. But the thing is, that system, like when you read the, like right now, is only that's why it's called the Boston system. So there's 12 other, if not 11 to 12 other markets that will be on that blockchain or in that system. And AMC, Adam Aaron previously specifically said that he do not want to put AMC on the blockchain. So AMC is not on that robot Godzilla system simply, and this is understandable. Why is that? Like simply because there's so much crap that is unaddressed, similar to those all those FTDs on it, that you can't put it on the blockchain because there's so much garbage underneath it. So they got to clean up all that mess before they can move forward. And that brings us to the overall answer, Ron, which is this is why you're getting a surge, I believe, in on YouTubers and on YouTube and all these channels out there saying new brackets, changing all their numbers, because whether someone is connected to someone or someone is reaching out to someone, some affiliate or whatever, or some people that got bought by whoever, who knows? The truth of the matter is the only way that that system can be implemented and all these stocks can be traded almost on that service, on that system, the IEX, will be when everything gets cleaned out so that it can proper from scratch basically on it. And Alan, of course, we own the float and the MF and float like like no one knows how many times, but I want to throw a very conservative guess that it's 5 times the float, and that's a very conservative, um, you know, guess. Um, the thing is, if people are holding, then logically the bigger question is where's the money going to come from to pay for the people? So without throwing any brackets or numbers out there, Ron, I think the answer is in how much money liquidity do they have, and will the DTC step in to pay out whatever can't be covered from these hedge funds or these banks as well? Because here's the thing, liquidity, of course, is an issue on the market. The problem is, the good thing is that we know for a fact, well, I don't know if any of you guys have been researching or looking at it, but banks and major institutions throughout 20 from 2020 to this very own date have made profits and bonuses record profits and bonuses. Even Barry Sanders, no, not Barry Sanders. Oh my God, I'm thinking I'm thinking of like sports now, like Barry Sanders. But I'm thinking of the congressman. Sanders have mentioned that that they've made so much money, and the biggest transfer of wealth that should have happened from the very rich to the middle and to the lower class didn't happen. Thank you, Alan Bernie. Um, and he's right about that. It did not happen. It actually went the opposite direction. The lower class and the middle class transferred money to the upper class, and that didn't happen in a way in where they were just great traders or not. No, they were just doing it throughout FTDs, stealing money, taking money from us, and not and not providing anything in collateral. And then and on top of that, they threw it right in our faces through all these bad articles that the media kept sending, or throwing our way. Um, Let me see here who said what. We have been holding since before the massive synthetic shares were issued. We have the, and if not, I mean, of course, Alan, the theory of diamond hands and craziness and all that stuff. Yeah, we have it, and I feel like the biggest uh, collaborator to all this crazy mess is the feds. The feds not constantly giving that easy money policy and keep printing to these guys. And how many of us know that in the blackout phase, all these congressmen that got caught, and including Powell himself, trading in that blackout phase, these guys were all caught red-handed. The problem is nothing is happening about it. It's so crazy how the majority, and we live in a democratic country. It's so crazy how we are the majority normally dictates the rules, but in this case, in Wall Street, it's the minority that's dictating everything, and we're just keep crying about things, and nothing ever gets changed. So this very active sec that people are calling, um, this has to be very active, because they have to watch out. The one good thing about us Americans is that we voice out our pain, we voice out our issues, but eventually we're never afraid of going out about our issues and bringing them up to the proper channels, or to bring them out. I mean, I'm not saying anyone should go right and go crazy, but if people continuously over a year and a half are doing, putting in all their hard earned money, and logically these stocks should be at a different stratosphere valuation wise, but nothing is going on, and these companies keep making money and playing us, then what are we doing here? What are we doing in the stock market in general? So obviously something has to change about that. Let's see here. It would be infinite money printing machine for us forever. um Danette, I hope so. I really do hope that it will be a non-stop printing money machine, because if it doesn't, then I have a big conviction that I'm not the only one that is planning on his brackets in some crazy stratosphere, that these other YouTubers are pushing out recently, newly updated, crazy, because each single one of them literally used to push out 5 to 6 digit brackets when all this started. I don't know whether just to get views and likes or whatnot, but if that's the case, then if they change that, then you got to think twice, guys. Whose allegiance is this person to? It doesn't have to be that they're bought out by someone else. They could be legit. It could have all been just business, just to get subs and likes and whatnot, and comments and whatever, or to feel important or famous. Um, because you can't logically change from crazy, like crazy numbers, all the way down somewhere, like some YouTubers are saying, oh, we're gonna change to 150, or you'll be lucky to get 200 or 300. So thinking of that, I'm like, what? 1 second, guys. Let me connect my charger. Stay on there. 1 second. Just add your questions. Caught it just in time. It literally was about to die and take out. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Um, yeah, feel the burn for sure. J Powell better turn that money printer on for us when AMC pops. They better, because do know one thing: the DTCC is whatever in the 67 to 72 trillion dollar insurance policy, and let me be quite honest with you guys. Even that is not enough to cover all the meme stocks. Excuse me, especially with our brackets, because let's just put it that way: all those failure to delivers need to be accounted for. Simple as that. Um, the biggest variable during the squeeze is who has the real shares. They need to buy back them 150 million real shares. Uh, if retail has them, oh boy. Um, of course, you know what? I'll be honest with you, Alan. I think, in fact, that it is um, the retails that are holding them. And the reason why I say that is because when this started with AMC, no, like think of it like this, and that was toward the end of 2020 when they were shorting. Actually, mid 2020, when they were shorting AMC, you just have to go all the way back to that time to exactly see who, if you want to make an idea on who holds those shares. If you look at that, institutions do not like to lose money and they don't want to lose money. So those institutions that are holding AMC shares, they really started upping their positions and started going into the stock when they saw conviction in it through the retailers, the crazy buying, because they saw that, like, the amount of shorts that was on that stock. Because logically, when the pandemic happened, the easiest company to short was AMC and the GameStop, because logically, this is a company that gets all its income from foot traffic, and foot traffic was closed. Everything was closed. Bills don't stop, so they were losing. So that's why they started shorting the company. Now, obviously, we popped in and we said, I don't think so. We're going to go ahead and we see things otherwise, and we jumped in. Okay. Now, at that time, institutes were not holding that back because, like no pension fund, a teacher's pension fund, or a lawyer's guild or whatever was holding AMC or GameStop. They started adding to their positions when we started began to raise the price of the stock. And when they saw how many people are in it, they seen that this was going to be a battle that's going to be going on for a while, for a long time. So therefore, they started adding to their positions. Now, how many stocks were bought? Did we buy the 150 million? I think that way more than that. And this is why they keep adding all these FUD through their YouTubers or through these market watch articles or whatnot that keep sending, these stupid articles about the stock is over, it's only worth 50 cent or whatever, targeting those people that are holding it. So much respect to the original dons of this movement, because they are holding the key. I would not be surprised. Here's the thing that we have to think about. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to reach out to those particular ones and try to buy them out. They could even buy them out at whatever ridiculous price, if that means they don't have to buy all of us out at that particular same price, but again, if that's the case, then they might have them sign non-disclosures to not come out and share it on Reddit or whatever. But that's too much conspiracy thought, so we'll just throw that out. But yeah, that's what it is. What I think about that, who owns most of those 115 million shorts. Let's see who is next. I'm sitting on 2K in shares. I'm holding the top, whatever that is. Um, so Cool Runner. Listen to this funny story. Okay, back in when 2020, when the pandemic first, like, reopened, the system first reopened, I had made some money throughout the crypto market, and because that one didn't sleep at all. But it was in May to June of 2020, I remember, when the markets first started opening back up. I made a really good amount of money on a few stocks, and one of them was Sundial, and then the second one was SPR. No, it wasn't SPRT. SPRT was late 2021. Um, shoot, Party City. Sorry, now I remember it. So Party City really made a big play. Now, I was hoping to play on Moderna, but at that time, I had to work with what I was working with. And when I made a great amount from those three plays that I was mentioning, because sundown, when I got in at that time, it was like in the 15 to 13 cent range. Believe it or not, it was even way less than what it is now. And I sold it when it started going up to the $1 range, and then got out then. The crazy thing was, I went ahead and loaded up a lot of option calls, like on AMC, that were expiring in September of 2021. You can already only see where that is going. And when I did, like literally those options, I have pictures of that stuff because I took screenshots of it. I have screenshots of those options netting me about $1.1 million. And I was like, okay, wow, that's crazy. I sold some and I held on to a lot. So I sold some that were like equivalent to about $230,000. And I converted all those into AMC shares, you know, boom. And then the rest I was holding, I was like, okay, this is going to continue going up. Well, manipulation at its finest happened, and I literally lost all those calls because, the brackets were that it was going to go way higher than the 74 that it went to. But obviously, they manipulated the stock and they did what they did. And next thing you know, I was left with all the stocks that I had into AMC. So the story learned from this funny story, and it wasn't so funny at the time, still not. But what was fun about it was that I was able to up my position in AMC tremendously. And through that, you got to remember, you can't get married to the options chain, because the option chain, you're just holding a coupon at that point. Um, and eventually, we also saw that they were able to use that to hurt us, because whenever you dropped all those calls, and everybody, well, obviously they make a lot of money through keeping those premiums who loses, but the ones that don't lose, when they get sold, they somehow were dumping them out in the market as sold shares, and that helped drop the price down even more. um, Anyone that throws out any number is guessing, of course. Anyone that literally, Jason, like, remember, I don't know if you've seen that video we uploaded before, like a few days ago. Anyone that's throwing out brackets of their own, that's their right. But anyone that is throwing out a bracket saying that this is the highlight and this is the bracket of all brackets and this is where you should sell, does not know anything about this play or about short squeezes, because there has never been this much failure to delivers and all that stuff. The only way they can exit or somehow delete all those failure to delivers is through majority of the people selling all their shares, so that, remember, they can't screw over the majority of the people. As bad as these people are, you can only imagine that they are going to try to screw people over, but they can't screw the majority over. So if everyone sells, then obviously majority of the people sells, then they can handle the minority or whoever is left in this play. So hopefully that whole talk from the beginning, what got us all together of the whole hold and buy and hold and all that stuff, um, the conviction of the play can last, because it just makes no sense to me that everyone changed, obviously, their brackets, and now they're talking about don't be stupid and whatever. Uh, if anything, the only person that I can't trust or sounds stupid is a person that can go from, we're at 10 to 12,000 right now, whether that's correct or not, to literally like a month later drop it to, you're lucky if you get 1 trillion. And I've said this before in the videos, that $1 trillion for this play is equivalent to about 200 to like 150 to $200 a share. There is no way with all these FTDs that this is what my share is worth. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. Just going along with the numbers that are reported to us, and with Adam Aaron giving us, reassuring us that there's 1.8 billion dollars in cash that they're holding, and that we are still owning most of the float through his mouth today, the retail, then I don't care how many institutions out there have whatever X amount of shares. At the end of the day, we hold majority of the shares. Now, if you want to look at if some data can come out and show exactly how many uh, shares do exist out there in total, forget real or fake, just how many shares were bought or created for AMC, then you could easily use that data to subtract how much institutional shares exist out of those shares. So, like, if there is, hypothetically speaking, 10 billion shares for AMC all together in coexistence out there, institutions, you could go easily to Fintel and just get a rough estimate on each company that's holding shares, not calls or puts, shares, and whether it's synthetic or real, doesn't matter. And you could go ahead and subtract that from that number, and then that will give you also a rough estimate on how many shares that the retail owns. I do believe that we are holding more than 4 million shares, which is what reportedly Vanguard and BlackRock has, like 42 million. The other one has like whatever, some millions amount of shares. We are holding way more than that. We're holding billions of shares. They need all those billions. They don't just need those 40 million shares from this one or that one. So once they dump all those, even if they dump them all at once, we all know that the price is not real. This line is not real. It's all crap. Um, they're trying to make us think that this is as fundamental as the other plays, but it's not. You know, um, we're not Amazon. We're not Berkshire Hathaway. So we can't move along that, and in the same time they can't manipulate that as the way that they can manipulate us, because to manipulate a Berkshire Hathaway you'll need trillions of dollars, uh, possibly even more, whatever is above that. I mean, each share you manipulate is in the $400,000 range, um, and this is why you see more manipulation toward AMC and sundial, even way more than AMC, and BBIG and so forth, because they're just cheaper, which means they can play with the option chain a lot cheaper. They could do that. GameStop, they were able to do that before, but now GameStop in the hundreds, they need a lot of money for that. And since that money dried up, that's why you see when it's dropping, it's whatever. It's still in that, almost in that same range. And so is AMC now. Most of their worry is from the cheaper ones. I've said that before in previous videos, that majority of the stocks, they're afraid of the cheaper ones, the ones that are on the bottom, like BBIG, Sundial, those stocks that are people that missed out on the opportunity of getting into AMC or GameStop when they were cheap. People are jumping on those stocks now in big amounts, and AMC and GameStop are working as validators to why they should do this. Um, Let me see. True, Jason, but anything under 1 to 2K and all this is a joke. KJW, yeah, it's a joke all around when there's like billions of shares that have been purchased. So who keeps the rest of the money? Who did I and somebody else buy from? I don't care whether it's a failure to deliver or not. It's not my fault. It's not my thing. It's like simply going to the store, and you give them money, saying that, hey, I need 5 pounds of this meat, and you go to the register and you're waiting on it to pick it up, and they'll say, okay, yeah, we'll deliver it to you as soon as they finish the cut, and you never get it. You're going to ask for your money back. But in the stock market, that's not how it works. So that needs to be accounted for. Those failure to delivers need to be accounted for, and when they do, the price brackets that people are pushing out there is a joke compared to the realistic valuation. How can it be paid for? That's not our problem. That's not an issue, because we paid all those money, all that money that has been paid for all that, somebody took it. So where is it? If they can't cover all that, then they can at least give people all their money back. And then at that point, we all know what kind of market that we coexist in. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I will never get even close to something called a stock market. And that will be their bigger loss, not ours. Bigger loss for them because they already have liquidity issues. Imagine if retail leaves the market. Where's any liquidity gonna come from? Um, the retail had like 80% back then, right? Yeah, Alan, we had 80% back in June, but today in the call, Adam Aaron reiterated that and reconfirmed that we are still holding that. So basically, no one is selling. We're still holding that 80%, and obviously, in my opinion, I think it's way more than that too. Given that there is multiple floats that have been bought. Um, Apes are greedy. We ain't selling till four digits. Well, who started the greed game? It wasn't us. We bought in order to get into this game, make some money, and provide better futures, for ourselves and for our families. So therefore, we're not really. You can't technically call us greedy. We just we're investors. The greed is with those cock lovers because they're the ones who took the money and didn't want to deliver it, and they saw that they could have easily just let this thing do its thing back in 2020 and 2021 when we needed to do its thing, and they could have just covered their shorts early back then and got out of this. But these guys are so greedy to the point where they don't understand or accept loss to the point where they are willing to cheat, and they did cheat so much and still trying to figure out a way to not pay a single dime. That's exactly the people that we're up against, fortunately. My brackets are 1 to 8K. Those are amazing brackets. I personally think that my brackets are somewhere similar to that. But again, it depends on how this whole thing starts and how the reporting works out, because you have that SEC said that they are going to report every month their short interest or their short position. How are we going to trust the data that is being reported? How do we know how many people are still in and how many people are out? You know? Um, so guys, whoever didn't like the video out there, please like it so we can push it out to more and more people. Um, let's see. I lost 140K on options too. Yeah, it's in my like in that case, like I didn't like I lost something that was not mine yet because I didn't settle them. But it is what it is. You learn from that, and you kind of move on forward. There will be a ton of different price points to sell with this many synthetics. Even the paper hands won't make a difference. Yeah, of course. When this thing unravels, we are going to make history in the history books. We will be teaching this event in college economic colleges. Um, I hope it ends that way. That's the least that I could see is that these were the greatest plays of all time in stock history because of how the majority of the people, we are the ones, the retail, that are not expected to go through this. And I've made videos about this before, where psychologically, we're not, they don't think, they spent billions of dollars to study our psychological powers or prowess. And they don't think that we can handle all this. All this was part of their game. Um, and now that we're here, I'm pretty sure they're very, very surprised. I'm pretty sure that this whole thing unraveled unexpectedly to them. But guess what? We're here now. We're not leaving. At the end of the day, thank God we're in America, not in any other country where they could just the government itself could tell you to go f yourself. Um, those 40 million shares won't affect the 5 million shares on the streets. Think yes, like I keep saying this, like this needs to be some sort of hashtag that goes out there to everyone so that everyone can keep hashtagging it. Like people are so afraid of 40 million shares where in 1 month retail had over that amount, or over 1 or 2 months, we had way over that amount in just FTDs alone. Simple as that. Um, I think there's 5 to 20 billion fake shares out there. That's very, very, very precise, Danette. Like almost, that's what I'm thinking. Anywhere between the 15 to 20, to be more exact. I feel like anywhere between the 15 to 20, because a few months ago they came out with this whole saying that there's about 19x the float, or 28 or 38 times the float that was bought for AMC alone, and obviously majority, if most of it was not delivered. So yeah, very, very, very. This is a very conservative. 5 billion is a conservative guess, I think. Um, Ver life. Um, Janie, I don't, I don't know what the ver your life. So, um, the net. I think GME is doing a share split. 110. It would squeeze. Uh, you know, I think I think all those companies have the big possibility of doing any of that stuff, but that shouldn't scare any investor, because if they do that, if they do a share split, then that would be in a way better for people. I don't see a share split. I see a reverse split, because that lessens the amount of shares you have. Yes, the amount that you paid is still the same, but calculate it like this. If you had 100 shares and they do a reverse stock split, 1 to 10, obviously now it becomes 10 shares that you're holding, but the amount's still the same. So if you bought them all 100 was, let's say the 100 costed you $2,000, then I know more, but just as an example here, if they cost you 2,000, then your 10 shares, when they do the reverse stock split, will also be evaluated at $2,000, which means each one was, drops to like 150 to $200 per stock. Now, here's the thing. Let's say it squeezes. See, this is why they would be more inclined to do a reverse stock split, especially the institutions would want that. I don't know if they will contact, those companies in the background. Now, we don't know how it will play out, but I have a theory that all these guys are in the same country club. So they hook each other up. So if they do that, let's say it squeezes. Now, when you're selling, instead of selling 100 shares at 3,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, whatever the price is, or 50,000 a share, you're selling 10 shares at 50,000. This is why the biggest fish for that is sundial. Sundial is if obviously the sun, like the whole, um like sundial, the whole non, like, the whole not getting delisted part is, and them getting an extension is mainly due to that. And I could see them doing a reverse stock split like no other. Like I see it happening, just like all the writing on the wall is saying they're gonna do a reverse stock split. So maybe, I hope they don't do any stock splits anymore, or any of that stuff. But to do that, they also have to count how many stocks are out there. So that happened with SPRT. That's a company that I made a good amount of money off of, and I got burned on options with it, because when they did the stock split, before I got some options on it, when it dropped, like when it was going up, I had some stocks in it, and I rode that thing all the way up to $58. I think it continued going on to the 60s, the upper 60s, but I sold in the higher 50s, and I was good. And then when it dropped back down, I said, okay, I'll throw some options on there for this, because it's kind of my tip money. And after a good lunch or dinner somewhere, so I threw it on there, and that's when they did a whole like a change of ticker symbol to GREE. GREE bought them out. Then they did like so many things to that stock and just killed all the options. So I still came out with a lot of profit from the stocks, but you know, it is what it is. Um, okay, let's see. Great, people are liking the video. um, I fight. Alan is like, I fight for a better market. I want Ken Griffin to go to prison like Bernie Madoff, since he basically used his playbook. Okay, I've made a video about this, Alan, and I don't know obviously how you're gonna feel about it, but I put one on one together. If the guy had his if he's a part, his securities company, Citadel Securities, is gonna be a part of the future, which is apparently the IEX system. He's a part of that. I don't see anything happening to that guy. And again, this is why most of his short positions got switched over to, somebody else's. And we talked about the sacrificial lamb that they're preparing for this, which looks like the Melvin guy. So I don't see anything happening to that guy, but the government is not going to prep someone for a big promotion like that and have him being a part of the new market maker, the blockchain, and then get him incriminated. And somehow, I mean, that's kind of like backwards. Like, why would you go so forward ahead into the future and then go back? And now, like, wait, how do you do this? They could have just not had him being a part of that if they knew that he's involved in all these allegations. I think that what they did is they know that he's that screwed up, but they couldn't get rid of the guy. The guy is the richest man in all of the state of Illinois. And in this case, this is where money talk and BS walks. Unfortunately, above the law, that applies to that. And this is where they're like, okay, we need to clean your slate very clean so that you can qualify for that. And this is what happened. Um, Dad, how did you get rich? Let me tell you my story, son, on how you destroyed Wall Street. Yeah. Uh, Believe it or not, guys, I'm in my 30s, but no kids, no marriage, nothing. Um, so I feel like I'm one of the kids, like obviously like you guys. I know some YouTubers call in the viewers are like kids, and you know who I'm referring to, that blue diva. I call him blue diva or blue eye. I think blue eyes want to lose friends. Um, it's it's completely different, guys, when you flex on your own community that you're trying to get so famous off of or whatever. Um, as you can see, I always, try to make sure that I stay as humble as possible, because no matter what you think you get and what you think you make, still nothing. At the end of the day, we're all gonna die. You see, I try to act as childish as possible, and the reason for that is to not be as depressed or have life like affect me or have its tool down on me so much, um, because at the end of the day you only get one life. uh, Trust me, I've been through many things and I've seen many things in life. You guys, I can't wait to tell you guys the stories of, as I was telling Danae earlier, of moving to the US. Why did we actually move to the US as a kid? Why did my family choose the US? um, and then what happened when we first got here. I mean, crazy, crazy stories. I swear, like you wouldn't even guess it. Um, Elon Musk is watching this and want revenge on what they did to him. Um, yeah, Elon never forgets. He's one. In the Middle East, they call, if you're a vengeful person, they'll call you a camel. You think like a camel, because camels don't forget. If you ever cross a camel or you do some shit to a camel, camels will not forget. They will literally remember it forever. And whenever you get caught slipping, they will get you. They will get you. So yeah, Elon Musk is gonna get his. He will never forget, especially since he knows what they did to him, and they still continuously try to do that to him. But they can't get him. I think he's the ultimate untouchable, not because of what the governments are giving him, because he earned it on his own. You know, I personally love the man. No homo. What revenge on? I'm jumping in on Sundial right after AMC. Now here's the thing, Alan. I'm already in Sundial. I'm already in BBIG. I'm already in AMC. Well, as you guys know, I'm already in many of these stocks because I do believe that most of these stocks are gonna squeeze at the same time because it's to the best of their interests that this goes down together. Like that is just in the best of their interest. Otherwise, imagine if people capitalize like millions of dollars on AMC and GameStop, and then you have all this shaky blue, nice like fruit looking stocks are just waiting for you at such a low price to jump in. It's I wish that's the case that happens. If not, I think they're all going to squeeze at the same time so they can just get ready for the new system. Unless that new system, the blockchain, does not get implemented until 2024, like some places said. Um, I killed it on SBRT, sold my options at 49. Oh my God, you must have been really happy that time, Alan. That rush that you get when you know that you invested, for example, like a very little amount, like 2 to 3 or 4 or $5,000 on something, and its return is astronomical. That rush is unbelievable. Like you literally feel like you're Mr. Untouchable at that point because you just have to go through it to believe it. Um, if Ken doesn't go down, Gary loses the big one. Um, again, yeah, of course. I don't think like a lot of people are saying like, okay, the community is divided on Gary. You got a lot of people who supports him, and you got a lot of people who think he's not doing his job. For me, I I'm a conspiracy theorist. The guy worked for Goldman, and his whole entire career was at Goldman before. He was through around for the 2008 situation and all that stuff, so he remembers all of it. So the case here is, since he got into office, what have he done? A lot of people are saying he needs time, he needs to this. Well, what he did now, he could have had all these proposals 6 months ago. All those proposals that we're getting to be approved now and go on a docket ASAP and come back for comment, and all that stuff could have been happening since day one. He could have just proposed it for the love of God. He could have just proposed it, and then after that, whatever comes back is whatever comes back. He just kept doing these DTC 001, 002, NSCC 2021, and yes, yeah, see right there. He took way too long to make these things happen. I feel like it's because he's been preparing, they've been correlating things together to finally get it closer to this. But the only way that they will let this thing go down is if everybody give up on their brackets and start letting things go for some crazy peanuts, you know? Um, Blue balls is a blue balls. I call it Blue Diva. I turned 30 last July. Happy birthday, brother. Well, you're closer to the 31 now soon, so hopefully we'll party together soon, guys. I made a video saying that we should all make. I want to make a video for after the sell off, when we sell off, like if you videotape yourself, send me the clip with your consent, and then I'll put them in a musical video and upload it to YouTube, and it will be our memory to remember what we looked like when we sold whatever our positions off in the greatest money heist of all time to the retailers. It's crazy that Biden doesn't even acknowledge Tesla as a leader in EV. What do you think of that? I think he and friends must have shorted Tesla and got burnt. Um, I think okay. I think they know that it's um, the leader in EV, but the thing is, most of them hate Elon, and this is why I say that Elon is someone that personally I love. Elon, all his majority of his enemies are the top dogs, like the presidents. He doesn't just stick to his field. He's constantly getting involved in politics and saying what he thinks because his overall agenda is different from the rest of the leaders. Like when he's thinking about making an economical life that saved Nikola Tesla, which I don't know. At first I thought that they were related, like he's his grandchild or something, or his offspring or something. Or why did he call his company Tesla? You know, or why did he buy the company Tesla in particular? So yeah, Nikola Tesla was like thinking exactly like similar to that. He was, in my opinion, the greatest inventor of all time because the guy was sick. He was just extremely intelligent, and you could go watch some documentaries on the guy. He's sick. He's sick, and the majority of the world played him, including Thomas Edison. Who got the bulb and the electricity credits and all that stuff. But in reality, he stole majority of those inventions from Nikola Tesla. So Elon Musk is a revolutionary person who is not liked because he does not go with the agenda or the narrative that is given to him. He's not playing by the book. He's creating his own. Because the government has their fingers on the oil and that's being threatened. Yes, indeed. Guys, it is 8:30. So unfortunately, I would have to go. Here's the crazy thing. I had to go 40 minutes ago because I have a soccer game at 8:30. Well, it's 8:26. So I have time to change, and I don't know if I'll be able to make that game, but I'm gonna go ahead and rush to it. Um, much love to all of you guys that were here. We're gonna join again now that I've fixed the whole live thing. We're gonna have a lot of live, time sessions, and I'm gonna go ahead and say the stories from now on, depending on what you want to hear. The story of how my family and why did my family move to the U.S. or what happened after we moved to the U.S. As soon as we moved to the U.S., like to adjust. Maybe you guys can put all that in the comment section, please. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't liked the videos, like the videos, and much love to all of you.